Okay. Hello. Welcome to this slightly different stream today. But basically, we are in X-Plane version 1.11.50. I'm just gonna have to put something random up here because obviously we're doing VFR circuits, and this stream is going to be my thoughts on the newest version of X-Plane and the newest beta. So, as you can see, we are in X-Plane as usual. We are currently sat in our lovely home airport of East Midlands. Welcome Matthew and welcome James, thank you for joining in. But yeah, we're sat in East Midlands. We've got no scenery here because I will get onto that later. But basically, we're in Vulkan, which is the new graphics rendering engine for X-Plane. But you can, in the new update, choose to go from OpenGL, which is quite old but is what is used on the current version of X-Plane, or Vulkan, which is what I'm using here. So as you can see, this gameplay is very smooth, and yeah, we are basically cracking out about 120 FPS at the moment. And yes, very nice. Hey, guess who finally got VATSIM? I don't know who got VATSIM. I'm joking. You probably got VATSIM. We're not on VATSIM today as well because Xpilot is incompatible, so is XQuarkBox. So we're offline doing some VFR circuits. I did technically load into the wrong Cessna, but it's all good. Yeah, so we're cracking around 120 FPS in this bad boy on the Vulkan engine compared to around 50 that we were cracking out before. So this is mental. But yeah, I'll go through my thoughts whilst we're doing our circuits. But just before we start the stream, if you look in the description, there's a link that is around Spotify, and that is my Spotify artist link. So I did release a song which you heard there at the start, which is called Nothing Better. I released it about a day and a half ago. Well, it came out about a day and a half ago, and yes, basically, if you want to listen to it, feel free. Links are in description. And we've already had so much support on this. We have already had, I've got a live thing here. We've already had 1,080 streams. And that is incredible. Yes, I do produce my own songs. Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. Like, just wow, first of all. Feel free to go ahead and listen. And yeah, at the moment I'm flabbergasted by that. But whatever. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we're going to get everything set. So our flight control, we're looking for full movement, which is perfect. Fuel valve down here is set to both. I don't know why the textures are all the way down here. Yeah, what are my textures at? I did install a whole new copy. Huh? Medium? We can crank that up to high. Yeah, but whilst that's updating, I'll just run you through the checklist. So before start, flight controls check. Fuel valve is set to both. Electrical switches should all be off. Circuit breakers are then all the way pushed in, so there are no popped out. Our elevator trim will then be set to take off, which is already automatically set when we load up in the Cessna. When we start our engines, the master switch is on, flaps, make sure that are up. Navigation lights are on only at night, and our heat should be cold. Make sure we put it as full rich. We don't need to prime. We put a throttle about 1/8 the way in, then we go over to ignition switch both, and then start. So that's basically what's going to happen. I have now got two versions of X-Plane. One's 11.5 and one is 11.4 something. The latest version, the latest full version of X-Plane. Hopefully this has sorted it out. Nope, it's still really bad quality, never mind. So yeah, we're sat in the Cessna, cracking 120 FPS constantly. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so we can take this off down here. Master switches are going to come on. Make sure mixture. Oh, I've got it set the wrong way around. Joystick. Here we're going to reverse axis. Mixture is now full rich. Our prime is not required. Throttle is going to be 1/8 of the way in, around about that. Our start, we will go over to both, and then we'll hit start. Clear prop, and our engine is all set. Perfect. So our oil pressure set here is indicating, yeah, we just want 1,000 RPM around about. Perfect. Now, avionics are going to come on. I'm going to flick our lights on here. I don't know what's happened to all of that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm ready, more or less. We just need to make sure radios are all set on. We don't need to check for taxi clearance, since we don't need that because we are offline. But yeah, and even now it's gone up to 1,084. Like, it's insane how much support we're getting on the channel recently. But yeah, we are gonna, well, we would call for taxi, but we're not going to, obviously, because we don't need to. So we're gonna release our parking brake, and gonna come round here. We do have full clear weather, more or less. Apparently it cannot connect to the simulator. But yeah. We are going to be taking off of runway 27. So we're going to taxi all the way down here and then take a right. But as we're taxiing here, basically the main structure of this video is that when we get into the air, I'm just going to be talking to you about what I like and what I dislike about Vulkan and the 11.5 update. So right off the bat, stuttering is reduced down to minimal, and that is on OpenGL as well in 11.5. So they have been working on fixing stuttering, and they've done a very, very good job on that. So all stutters are gone, more or less. In OpenGL there are still one or two, but in when you choose Vulkan, because you can switch between both, it's none. There are none. It's completely smooth, and it's just that whole essence of it, because I've been landing into runways before in like a Zebo or the 777 or whatever, and I've just been stuttering all over the place. And then obviously that messes up your landing, your game can freeze, and then that just means, is this East Midlands? Yes. It's not very realistic. We are going to take off out of Alpha 3, pretty sure. Whiskey one. That's my fault. Right. Hello Ryan, welcome. But once we get into the air, obviously because we're not on VATSIM, it's not going to be as clean and precise because we're not on VATSIM. I don't have any plugins installed, so we won't know if it's butter or not. But we're just going to go around and I'll talk to you about my thoughts on the update. Okay. Okay, check right, check left. That's one. Okay. Perfect. So let's get up into the air. We're going to go throttle full here. Rotate. So we're just going to climb through. But yeah, so basically Vulkan is a massive update. It's a massive change. Everything is huge. Is that turn? No, I thought that was turning rudder for a minute and it kind of scared me. But yeah, that's that. That's the main point. Vulkan is a massive upgrade, and at the moment it's the best X-Plane experience I've ever had, and that's more or less the main grit of it. I'm gonna put a heading bug on here. So that's just going to take us up. I'm actually going to change it to completely clear here in day, just so we get a better essence of this. But yeah, so we're in the air, and this is what X-Plane is looking like at the moment. So obviously I've got no scenery installed, everything is raw X-Plane, so all of these houses are just raw X-Plane, not Open Scenery X or anything like that. But we'll start off with the good things. If you're usually struggling to get a good looking X-Plane, and you want a good looking X-Plane, 11.5 and Vulkan, when it comes out, will be your biggest dream. Because you can crank everything all the way up, and unless you're struggling massively, it's not going to be too much of an issue. At the moment, again, cranking around 110 FPS, and if I look at my task manager, I can see that my GPU usage is still around that 40% mark. So it's still not fulfilling what the GPU can do. It's very, very, very smooth, all of this. There are no stutters or tearing when the scenery loads in, because usually in OpenGL, when scenery loads in, it I can't speak. When scenery loads in, there's a little bit of a tear when when it's trying to render in all of this or here. So there is a tearing, and it can make your X-Plane not look as good, and it can also decrease your X-Plane experience, and that is all removed. Everything is removed within the Vulkan rendering options. They team up with Vulkan and Metal to create this experience. Basically, it can be either one of the two. I'm gonna do right hand patterns here and take them at 90 degrees. And yeah, basically the main positive, the main pro for this Vulkan and 11.5 update is the increased FPS and the smoothness of the game, and the better experience that you gain. So everything is just silky smooth. There's nothing that I can point out that is clearly wrong with it, and it's absolutely incredible. Now we can move on to the bad parts, and there are quite a few at the moment. Yeah, there are. So I have not been able to basically install any plugins. All plugins have either glitched out or caused my X-Plane to crash at the moment. I'm just going to hold altitude here. Don't know why the altitude is not being held. But anyway, yeah, it's very tedious to set up. The update itself is around 4 GB, so it's not very big at all. But basically, everything is just kind of messed up, I say, by it. I originally tried to install all of my plugins over to see what it's like and all my ortho and things, and it was all over the place, just a very, very unpleasant experience. And that's something that is being improved on, and this is because this is a beta, so this is the beta 3, this is the third beta that's come out, and at the moment it's not polished. The bare bones of it, what they said would happen, the updates, the upgrades to FPS, things like that have been flawlessly executed, whereas everything else has just been a bit slapdash, I should say. Yeah, the main bad point is that everything that you had in your other X-Plane will not work, and that is mainly due to the fact that this is a beta, as I've said, but all these plugins are not designed for the Vulkan engine, they're designed for OpenGL. I'm just going to lower us down a bit here, and that is the main reason for all of the plugins to not work. So Reshade, for example, I try and get Reshade, like if I press home and stuff, but it's just you have to uninstall it on the OpenGL version, then install it with Vulkan, so it's a massive change. You have to be fully invested in it to change like all of your plugins and things like that, and at the moment I'm not invested enough to uninstall all my plugins and update Reshade and download all my scenery again, because it's not worth it. Basically, it's just not the best that it can be, and obviously they're still working on it. They have been working on this for quite a while now. I know the team at X-Plane have been working their hardest to fulfill this, and obviously because we are in lockdown now, it's going to be a lot easier for them to actually curate it. I'm going to take another right turn here. But yeah, we're going to do some wide circuits here. It's just not the only, yeah, basically it's just not polished. That's the only bad thing I can really tell you about it. Obviously without all these plugins, it makes X-Plane very hard to play, because obviously I'm used to flying on VATSIM. Whenever I fly on VATSIM, I don't fly offline. I'm always flying with something like Navigraph as well. Symlink bugs out for me, so that's why I can't actually physically use Navigraph at the moment, because it says unable to connect to sim. That's what it says. And obviously that is pretty hard to get used to, because I'm used to having these charts, and I'm used to having everything in front of me and being able to do that, and being able to see all my charts, see where I am on the charts and everything like that. But that is all just gone in this new update. So if I was trying to update to this, and if I did update to this, I was about to, that would have been horrible, because VATSIM, nothing works. Squawk Box is gone, Xpilot is gone, everything's gone more or less. And in terms of VATSIMs and like their reputation, obviously X-Plane, there aren't that many X-Plane users that fly on VATSIM, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. It's more P3D, but FSX do. X-Plane do quite a few, but not as many as they could. But that would mean that VATSIM has a very, very low population of people that actually fly on VATSIM, if you know what I mean. So if they don't fix the bugs with Xpilot or X Squawk Box, it could be very bad for VATSIM in general, because they could lose most of the people that usually fly with them. And as from a business's point of view, because I'm pretty sure they're making money out of it, it's not going to be good for them. And obviously I'm not a businessman, so I wouldn't know, but I assume that if I lost half of the population of the people, or the half of the people that actually use my software and things, that would be bad for me. And it's just not the best, it's not the most ideal situation for most of the people. But so far it's been very positive with Vulkan. There have been no stutters or anything like that. Streaming is a dream. It's just, it allows my camera to be smoother, I guess, but obviously it's still not the smoothest. Yeah, it's literally just, I really, really do enjoy flying with Vulkan. But I would prefer it if I could fly online. And then obviously that brings me to my previous point where you can't fly online. But then this brings me to another point, some other popular add-ons, the Tolis. All the Tolis doesn't, basically no Airbus works in this new update. I think a few do, but the Tolis 319, 321, they do not. Matthew, I'll see after the stream, because obviously this is going to be quite a short stream. Aircraft, that is just very bad. The Zebo does work, so the Zebo is playable, but I'm just going to be doing VFR circuits for today. Yeah, and obviously I don't want to be flying a Cessna the whole time. I don't want to be flying just the Zebo the whole time. I have a variety of aircraft, and I want to fly a variety of aircraft because it's exciting. It doesn't get strenuous. And in Vulkan you can't really do that. You have a choice of more or less 2 aircraft that are guaranteed to work. Other add-ons, XP Realistic is completely gone. It doesn't work in Vulkan at all, so that's all the head shake, the sounds, and it's like taking off there with XP Realistic would have been absolutely incredible. It would have been so good. And that's because you get those rattles, you get those subtle squeaks of the engines, because every aircraft is not perfect, and once you start having those engine squeaks and things like that, you can't really get used to getting rid of them. And I know it sounds like, oh yeah, but you can deal with that. It's really hard to, because obviously the head shake, when you turn, if you were to turn in real life, you wouldn't turn your head as the plane goes. It would be separate, and obviously XP Realistic emulates that. I'm just going to do a right hand turn here. XP Realistic emulates that. And then so does actually head shake, to be fair. I'm not too sure if that works. But obviously not having that, like right now my head wouldn't be there. I would be level headed at the moment. I'd just be sitting up straight normally and I'd see straight. And not having that is just quite hard to deal with. Also, many fly with Lua plugins have been bugged for some reason. I don't know if it's just my copy, but for me, certainly, so the landing rate plugin isn't working. And one thing that's just come into frame are these jagged shadows. So this rendering thing, Vulkan, has actually caused these harsh, sharp shadows, basically. And I'm just going to start descending very slowly. Yeah, and these jagged, very jagged shadows, and that you're meant to be immersed in this game. Obviously, it's meant to be like you're flying the actual aircraft. But if you just have these really jagged shadows, they're not going to be like that. They're going to be smooth lines. So there are many visual bugs that you can find, like these jagged lines on the edge. And people say that's anti-aliasing, but it's not. And I did find out a new one as I started the stream. My textures have gone all the way down. I don't know if that's just because of a user error. But even when I turn them up, you still can't read that at all. It says out static air pull on, but that's obviously because I'm used to reading it back when I couldn't bump out these sort of FPS. But as I've had a lot of negativity about it, we're gonna put flaps 1 here. I've said a lot of negative comments about it because obviously it's not the best experience to fly in. But in other words, if you have a very bad, well, not a very bad PC, but if you struggle to get those FPS that you need, so you struggle to get about 20, and then obviously in the future when VATSIM is updated and you're able to fly with Vulkan on VATSIM, that will allow you to not obviously get kicked off VATSIM. Like even when I'm at flight level 320 and other things like that, let me just... Yeah, there we go. When I'm flying on VATSIM and I'm at 320, things like that, it's very, 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 very annoying when my FPS goes down to about 20 and I get kicked off VATSIM fully. I don't get banned, it's just I get kicked off because of the current rules where if you get below 20 FPS in X-Plane, that causes your X-Plane to not run in real time, so then you get kicked off, and that's not good. Basically, that's most I can say to you, just it's not good. And if I was trying to fly an actual flight, and when I do fly flights and I get disconnected, it's so annoying. I lose that immersion that I was currently like feeling, because obviously you're flying the plane, you get immersed in the aircraft, you get annoyed when you do a bad landing, you get all of this. I got disconnected and then you have to try reconnect. It's bad for the controllers if you get in that low 20 FPS. So that's where Vulkan makes the huge difference, because you'll no longer, unless your PC is struggling massively for FPS, and at that point you would need to upgrade your PC. There is our runway over there, I believe. Yeah, but if you ever get to that point, you will need to upgrade. Vulkan will completely eliminate that issue, because even if you're running at about 10 FPS there, you're going to get about 30 now. And even though 30 people would say it's not good, it's where X-Plane originally was designed to run at, and you're not going to get kicked off things like X-Pilot or Squawk Box. Everything will stay safe. I say stay safe. But everything will stay stable, and you'll actually be able to enjoy your VATSIM experience. Hello, Misha. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. I'm just going through Vulkan, the pros and cons. I feel like in English speak, there's something called waffling. That means you speak about something over and over again. It's very hard to understand. I feel like I have spoken a lot today. How much more FPS do you get? I went from around 50 in a Cessna, and I'm now around 120, 130. So that is massive upgrade for me personally. But I've heard that if you use any Radeon graphics cards, anything like that, then you get massive upgrades. Yeah, so AMD, I saw one where it was they had an i5 9900K, I think it was, I don't know, and Radeon 5700, and they went from around, I believe it was around 20 to around 80 or 90 FPS, which is truly insane. Just gonna turn around here. The land here. Obviously this hasn't been the best because I've been talking, but the next few VFR circuits, trust me, they'll be fine, because I'm not going to be talking as much. I just need to go through my thoughts and my opinions of the Vulkan update, and personally, depending on your situation, I think you should upgrade, because obviously if you have a bad PC at the moment, well, not a bad PC, but if you're struggling to get out 20 FPS even at that mark of mostly low or medium settings, then I would say try Vulkan, see how you like it, because obviously if you are struggling to get 20, you're not going to be able to fly in VATSIM, and at the moment VATSIM doesn't work, so then that'll boost your FPS and you'll get a better flying experience, so then you have more practice. But if you have good enough graphics and good enough FPS, things like that, I say you still upgrade, but you install a second copy if you have enough hard drive storage. And obviously that's what I've done. I have a 1TB SSD, and I've installed most of the scenery around the world for only about 80 or 90 gigabytes. There's that touchdown. All the way up. Flaps coming up. Gonna go up to around 2,000 feet. I did lose it, 2,000 feet. There's rotate, sorry. I did lose 2,000 feet. That's only because I was talking a lot and not really paying attention to the flying. The only reason I'm flying with this instead of actually talking about it just as a video of my face cam is, number one, I don't think you really want to see me close up because it's not the best experience, and I'm pale as well, so it's not great. But yeah, I thought I'd show you how smooth in fact this actually is. I would show you the Zebo, but obviously I'd need a flight plan, things like that. But yeah, at the moment I'm loving Vulkan just for the flying element itself, whereas I do prefer to fly on 11.4 where I can talk to ATC and everything like that. I'm very, very sure in the next beta Xpilot will be supported and most plugins will be fixed, but at the moment I'm not too sure if they will be. But yeah, I'm very happy that I have enough storage, things like that, to actually try this out, because I have been wanting to try it out, and from my experience it's been pretty good, but obviously as I've gone over multiple times, and sorry if I repeat myself, it's just the add-ons that frustrate me the most, because I want to have XP realistic, I want to have Xpilot, things like that. Back in England, back home, very, very nice. Did you butter it? Did you butter it? That's the big question. Is it gusty, or why are you correcting so much? It's because I'm trying to talk. I'm not the greatest at talking and flying. But yeah, I'm just very, very glad that I'm able to be in the situation where I can. But I honestly think you should try it out. And even if you want to try it out but you don't have enough storage, just install the scenery for when it asks you to install scenery, just get it for the UK. It will be about 10 gigabytes. Obviously if you don't have that storage, then just don't. But yeah, I say you try it out, because it is a massive upgrade. Also, heavy driver, I'm not the best Cessna pilot. I just wanted to show you the massive difference that Vulkan actually makes. So there are shared good and bad points, and obviously things that you just saw like that, shadows and lighting is a big issue. It can change very drastically depending on what part, where you are, and shadows can look jagged and anti-aliased, basically they look. But yeah, I think you need to have it hands-on for you to make a massive decision. Definitely buttered and right in the touchdown zone. Happy Easter, everyone. At BA, we voted to retain as many jobs as possible. My job on the A350 is confirmed. We will ban it over. Good job. How do I get this? It depends if you want to install a second version of X-Plane or just update your full X-Plane anyway. I was watching Infinity War earlier. Well, literally just before the stream. I just finished it. Yeah, so if you want to... Oh, not the greatest turn. If you want to install a second copy, what you need to do is you need to go into your X-Plane installer. Well, this is what I did. You go into your X-Plane installer. You install a second copy, get all your scenery and stuff right. And then once that's installed, you need to update that to the beta by checking the box that says check for betas, and then it allows you to update. Quick note though, I do not use the Steam version of X-Plane. Many people think I do, but I actually don't. I use the it's purely downloaded from X-Plane itself. I just find I enjoy Steam. I've got so many games on Steam, but it's just, I'm going to stick heading on here just because I want to talk to you guys and I don't want to have to concentrate on flying at the same time. I'm just going to get us back onto this little route here. Yeah, so if you want to update, you need to go into your X-Plane installers, check the box, or tick the box, however you want to say it. Tick the box that says check for betas when updating, things like that, and that should update you to 11.5 beta 3, which is what I'm currently on, and then you should boot up in OpenGL. That will boot you up in OpenGL, and after you booted in OpenGL, you want to go into your settings and graphic settings, and then it should say use Vulkan for faster rendering, and then you want to check that box because that is what will improve your FPS. The Moon Launcher, welcome to the stream. That's what will ultimately improve your FPS and improve your flying experience, because of the massive updates and scenery and things like that. But if you do want to fly normally, I think with OpenGL, yeah, I think with OpenGL, the plugins are still supported, but I wouldn't take that chance. You can try it if you want, but me personally, I wouldn't take that chance, just because I want to actually fly on my default X-Plane, because I do prefer flying in that X-Plane. But if you're on Steam, there's a different way to do it, and it's through Steam itself, through Steam updates. You have to check you have to check a certain box when updating. Bad things about Vulkan: bad auto textures, incompatible with most add-ons. Yeah, that's basically it. And the good things are just massive FPS increase. And yeah, massive FPS increase. Rendering's great, and you can actually crank up all of your settings to max if you want, and you'll still get a very, very good flying experience. So if I went up to max, I'd probably get around 80 FPS because I'm cranking 125 now. So I'll get around 80 FPS, and that's on all maximum settings. But obviously I can't do that now because I'll have to restart my X-Plane. This is going to be the last circuit as well. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for two things in this stream. I'm sorry that I keep repeating myself when I'm talking. And I'm also sorry that my circuits aren't the best. I'm not really concentrating on flying in this. Yeah, I'm not really concentrating on flying. I'm concentrating on explaining to you the good things and bad things, so you can make your own decision if you want to get Vulkan or not. So yeah, those are the two things I'm apologetic for. One thing that I ask of you is that you follow the link in the description. which is the Spotify link, not the one above. Unless you want to donate, then feel free to use the one in the first link in the description. But please use the link, first link, second link in the description, and to go to my Spotify page. Please listen to it if you want to listen to it multiple times. But depending on how many streams it gets, that actually supports me as a creator and an artist. So that's highly appreciated. It's also, if you use things like Apple Music, Google Play Music, iTunes, Deezer, Pandora, Amazon Music, things like that, it's all on there. Just search in Nothing Better full stop or Christian Woolley, WOOLLEY, and it should come up with me. Picture of me playing guitar and drums, and then a black background, things like that, as the album cover. Feel free to actually buy the single for 99 pence, Great British pence. So really do feel free to buy it. Obviously that does go straight to me as a creator and an artist. So if you want to support me without actually paying money, then just go onto something like Deezer or Spotify, preferably, because you've already got the most views on there. Go onto there and just listen to the song, share it with your friends, things like that, and that will actually support me, which is great, and it's completely free for you to use. So please do that. Yeah. Christian, can you make a song for me? Sure. No, I don't know. I have no lyrics for songs, so they can't really mean anything, you know? Right now you're probably safer being in China. I did go early on this final base turn here. So I'm just gonna go a bit around about here. I'll start the turn. But yeah, all of your support, that it keeps going up. I don't know how this is happening, but I'm already on 1,122 streams, and I was at 1,080 when we started the stream. So it says 4 people are listening right now. I don't know how 4 people are listening, but that's amazing. I'm looking at the graph, and it's literally straight, and then all of a sudden it just goes straight up, and that's just insane. I'm so thankful for every single one of you for supporting me, and it really does mean a lot. Really, really, really does. Dubai is very hot. It's huge as well. I'd love to fly into Dubai. One of the richest countries in the world. Yeah, I am very sorry for the flying not being up to par as what it usually is. It's because I very rarely fly the Cessna. That's my first excuse, and my second is that I'm trying to talk instead of concentrate on flying. But you can see, obviously you can see these shadows just not loading in very well at all. You're going to stream on the 11.5 version now? No, I'm going to stream on whatever, I think I have the 11.4 something, I don't actually know. But I'm going to be streaming normally. So on VATSIM, in the usual 321 or 319, and 777 if we feel like it, things like that. If we ever go on a long haul again, which we will. We said it. Oh yikes, we said it. No, we didn't say 200. 250. But it will more likely be 300 because I didn't expect us to go up so much. at this. It's not too bad. The airport's literally right there. It's not too bad, to be fair. Let me... What joystick are you using? This is the Logitech G Cytec Pro Flight Yoke. You can get it on Amazon for around 119, I think it is. I don't actually know for sure. It's around about 119. It's basically the same shape as a Cessna yoke, but apart from you have these extra thumb rests on the side that you can place your thumbs onto. You untick the Vulkan checkbox, you should be fine in 11.5 without needing to revert to 0.41. Yeah, that's a good point. It is true, but I am going to go back to just my default because I can't, I say I can't be bothered, I can be bothered. I just don't want to have to drag all my ortho, which is around 400 gigabytes. I'm pretty sure it's around about that. Yeah, not the best turn from me. But yeah, I am going to go back to my 11.41. That's just because I feel safer. But yeah. I used the Vulkan, but I just got the same performance. That's probably because you didn't tick use Vulkan. So you have to go into settings. I'll actually show you right here. If you go into graphics settings, I just ignore the settings. I'll put I'll try them on max when I get back because obviously anti-aliasing whatever. No, put that back all the way down because I can't stream with anti-aliasing. It's weird. Use Vulkan driver for faster rendering. So, have you changed any of your settings at all? That's one thing. And otherwise, I don't know what has happened. But I've had massive boosts. I've gone from around 50 to around 130, which is quite odd, to be fair. But my textures were medium. And obviously I'll need to restart my X-Plane to see the full detail changes. So I'm going to guess it will be around 190, 100 or 90. Things like that. Flaps are going to come full here. Going to bring the throttles back. I'll probably retry. Yeah. Have you made sure that you're on 11.5? Yeah, but overall my main concern is the plugins not being recognised and able to work in this new update. Yeah, I'm in macOS, so it's Metal instead of Vulkan. Unfortunately for me, I haven't experienced any improvement in performance. It's gotten worse, actually. Yikes. I feel like, I don't know why they're not on DirectX. If there's a reason for them not being on it, feel free to correct me, because I don't know if it's compatible with flight simulators. But, yeah. Let's get that Cessna store sound. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to keep it at around 100. Going to try vacate left as soon as possible. I'm parking at a random gate. Obviously this stream isn't focused on flying, so if you came for a focused on flying stream, I've got hundreds of other streams that you can watch. that are fully focused on flying, but this was more about enlightening you guys on the art of Vulkan, basically. Like, should you, well, not Vulkan, I need to stop saying Vulkan, 11.5. Like, should you update all these questions? Hopefully I've answered, but overall it is up to you. So I would say give it a try, if you can. Like, when you're installing a second copy, get little to no scenery and only flying around a Cessna, just doing VFR circuits like I have today. But yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I've tried it and I've loved it, but I'm not going to continue flying. I'll continue off stream, obviously, because it will be good to improve my Cessna flying skills. But otherwise, I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to continue to stream on Vulkan. It is very good for OBS, actually. There's little to no FPS difference with OBS. Excuse that I'm not parking at a general aviation stand. I'm just going to park at any random stand that's near. So we'll take this one. But yeah, I should say to you guys, I'm very sorry that I haven't already, to be fair. Happy Easter. I hope you're enjoying your Easter so far. I certainly am. Nice to spend family time. Nice to have family time with people in your family. But if you use without auto textures will be really poor and sceneries will be messed up. That's why I'm just not going anywhere near them. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna turn our avionics off here. Throttle can go idle. Mixture full lean. After it's stopped, put this all the way back. And turn our master switch. So that has been this very short stream today. It's only been live for about an hour. DirectX is not available for Mac OS. Okay, good point. Yeah, thank you for tuning in though. Please go check out the single on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, Pandora, Tidal, Deezer, Apple Music, iTunes, anything you can think of. It will be on there, so just search up Christian Woolley, WOOLLEY, and yep, that will support me, no matter if you obviously buy the single. I'm not saying you should, but if you just feel free to listen to it on things like Spotify, because then that will obviously support me through my distributor. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I've enlightened you, and overall, the pros improves FPS and improves rendering so you don't get screen tearing. Cons, some shadows are off and jagged. Literally every add-on is incompatible. You can't do what you want to do because the add-ons are incompatible. Ortho sceneries and things like that are all messed up. So that they're the biggest cons. But overall, I'm just going to tell you, if you want to try it out, I say do it. And if you're not sure, just try it out anyway and get as little to no scenery as you can, and then just fly about and see how it feels and see how it looks, things like that. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you very, very soon. I'm not sure when that will be, but happy Easter. I hope you have enjoyed it. Sorry that I didn't say it at the start of the stream, but happy Easter. I'll see you all soon, and bye.